YouTube, what it is? There we go. What it is. Today on another episode of All About the Semis. Semis. Yeah. So, today we talking about, I figured, I'd make a video about maximizing your time, your clock. With all these restrictions, there's only so much you can do as a professional driver. There's a lot of regulations and things of the sorts that regulates our time. So with that being said, I figured I'd just share a few things because it was something I was having a time with starting out, and a good friend of mine named Will used to, try and give me pointers on how to monopolize that time, and I'm hoping that one day I can get Will on the show to share some of his experience, because he's a pretty damn good driver. He's a good guy. So yeah, I was having issues with that, and I needed to, kind of figure out how to do that. And you will, because that's one of the paramount things if you, new out here trying to drive, is really learning how to maximize that time. A lot of guys get, I think, the misconception on how they can use PC and adverse weather and conditions and adverse conditions and things like that. And a lot of those things are to help us in those kind of situations, and I'll get into that. Also, starting right out, you know when your load is going to be picked up and going to be delivered. Know where you are and know the distance pre-trip, and I mean pre-trip as in pre-trip planning, not as in pre-tripping your tractor. Let me clear that up. But yeah, pre-tripping can help you tremendously. When it comes to managing your time. So once you know where you're going and you know the distance of how long it's going to get you there, take you to get there, I'm sorry, plan it out and start your clock accordingly. Do your pre-trip. Every company requires different time frames on their how long it takes them to do a pre-trip. So do your pre-trip. Once you got that pre-trip done and out of the way, go ahead and get rolling. I'll give you an example. Right now I'm in Jacksonville, just coming out. It's on Tuesday, picking up right here at Jacksonville, and this load is going to Alabama. I know it's going to take me, according to the truck navigation, 8 hours to get to the part of Alabama that I'm going to. My load doesn't deliver until 10 o'clock tomorrow. Where I was at, I was literally down the street from the pickup. So I PC'd here. I'm just starting. So I have a 4 o'clock and I'm just starting coming out. It just makes sense to just go ahead and PC over here. And you can do that coming out if you're empty. So now it's been taking them a while to get me loaded. My appointment was at 3 o'clock. And I got here at 12 o'clock. They said, oh, we might be able to get you early. Park over there, blase, blase. I parked. They didn't come get me until about 2 o'clock. Started loading my truck almost an hour ago. And it is currently 3:36. So they've been having me at the dock for about an hour. They started loading, but I don't know what happened. It's kind of like just stopped. So this is critical that I did not start my clock, because now when I leave, I have my 10-hour day to start. These are little tidbits that you need to know when you are starting out. Don't start your clock unnecessarily. there's no need for it. You'll just kill yourself in time. Now, if I'd have been sitting, that'd have been 3 hours that I would have just lost of drive time. And again, suppose I run into some issues on my way out there tonight to my load, and because it starts at 10, drops off at 10 o'clock, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh well, I got time, so I'll just chill. Never get in that mindset. Utilize your time the best that you can, because some guys think that, oh, it's 8 hours, I got 10 hours, it doesn't matter. This 3 hours could have cost me a day, hypothetically, because now I've been sitting. If I'd start my clock late, I would have lost 3 hours. I'd had 7 hours, and my trip is, according to truck navigation, a little over 8 hours. So you can see how that could impact, now depending on your PC and how it works. Every company is different. Some companies only give you a certain amount of miles to drive on PC, where you might be able to make a miracle happen, and then some companies only give you a certain amount of hours to drive on PC. Everybody's different. My company only gives you about 50 miles, so that's basically about an hour, depending on how you drive. And so this is why you're managing your time is so critical. Another thing, when you're out there rolling, try not to stop as much if you don't have to. Know where your fuel is. Know where your fuel stops are going to be. When I leave here, I'm going to fuel up. I'm starting out. I know I need fuel for the week, so I'm just going ahead and fuel the truck up, and I'll be good for a little while. And that's just how I'm gonna ride out with that. My load is about 500 miles away, so this is where I'm dropping it. So I'll go ahead and fill up, and I know that I'm good and I don't need to stop. Minimize your stopping time if you can. When you stop, if you're not on duty doing anything with the truck, put it off duty. Save your work clock, because that's where your adverse conditions help you, because you need to have time on that adverse conditions to make it usable. And I'll get into that on another video about the specifics of that. But unlike PC, you have to have time on your adverse condition, which is your work clock, to even make it useful for you, because if you don't, you can't use it. So if you're not on duty doing something with the truck, don't be on duty. Every time I stop, I'm off duty, period. I'm just off duty. When I do my breaks and things like that, I'm off duty. Fueling up, we're not going to talk about that, but on duty. Okay? Regulation says you need to be on duty when you are fueling up your truck. I'm not endorsing anything here. Yeah, so manage your time. If you're not doing anything with the truck, off duty. Try to go where you got to go. Shut down, off the clock. Another thing is go on sleeper berth, because sometimes you'll go somewhere, and if you're not sure if the minute they tell you, hey, it's going to be a while, you're going to run into that trucking. You're going to run into that. And the minute they tell you, hey, it's going to be a while, you want to put yourself in sleeper. I went somewhere before. It was over 8 hours I was sitting. Didn't realize I just went off duty, and I couldn't even do a split break, because you need to be in sleeper to do the split break, so you can get that time back, or the time that you didn't drive. You'll get that back in 8 hours. I lost that time because I was off duty and not sleeper, and the system only gives you credit for that sleeper time. So get in the habit of using that sleeper when you get somewhere and you get delayed, or you're going to be sitting for a while. Just like when I'm doing my reset, or you do your reset, you stop at the truck stop, you shut down for the night, you go on your sleeper. There's a reason for that. So yeah, and again, Sometimes you're going to run into situations that you're going to be delayed at shippers and you can't get that time back. A buddy of mine was just telling me today he was held up for 5 hours at a shipper, and then he ran into some snow up in Ohio, and it was just a nightmare. So he was just starting, and he had lost a lot of that time. Now, had that been me, I'm thinking about it now. I didn't tell him because I hadn't thought about it, but think about it now. I probably would have said fuck it and took another 3 hours, and then I would have got that 5 hours back, that I was sitting. So that would have helped out extremely if you're in a sleeper. So this is why it's important to make sure that you are in the sleeper when you are stopped like that, or you having those kind of complications, if you will. Yeah, so managing your time is a big key factor. I'm sure we're gonna have more videos about this and how to do that. I'm still waiting for a green light. These guys still got me sitting here and sitting here. So a good thing that I am off the clock, because it would be a nightmare right now if I was just losing this time. I'd go through the roof. So yeah, I'm gonna pretty much wrap this video up. I just wanted to share those little tidbits about the time management for those who need that, and I hope this helped out somebody. You know what? Before I end the video, I had a friend of mine. He used to drive for Warner, and he was always running out of time because he was on a dedicated account where he would show up to the location, to the distribution center for Walmart, which is the account he was on, and he'd come on, he'd get his load. He already been sitting waiting for the load, so he done logged on to this pre-trip, went on duty, and then he'd be waiting for the load. Sometimes he might be waiting a couple hours for the load, and he gets his load, then he goes look for the trailer, find the trailer, hook up, then he's got to stop and fuel up. And he was sometimes losing 2-3 hours. Sometimes it could take them a little bit longer to get you a load. And he was starting his clock when he got there because he was new and he didn't know pretty much anything. He was new driver, fresh out of school. And I keep hearing beeping and I don't know where it is. So, make a long story short, I had told him, man, you're killing yourself. You got to, don't start that clock. Wait till you get your load. Then do your pre-trip. Meanwhile, you're sitting and you're waiting, and even then, get your load. Don't log in. Go find your trailer, hook your trailer up. Pre-trip your trailer, because you got to pre-trip it anyway. So you go bobtail, pick up your trailer, bring it back, fuel your truck and your trailer up, because they did reefers. Fuel your truck and your trailer up. While you're fueling up your truck, do your pre-trip, go on duty, because you're getting ready to roll out. And it's kind of the same way, you got to kind of just think about it, because you don't need to be on for everything. It's just like if you're just going to do a yard move, you don't need to go on and kill your clock for that. Yeah, so this time I'm ending the video. Promise you, I hope this helped out somebody. If you guys need any more information or anything I can help with, feel free to let me know, and I will be rapping to you later. It's your boy Aaron, QDZ, all about trucking, all about semis. Peace.